I always thought of us as that couple, the kind people point to and say, they've got it figured out. We met during a charity event, of all places. She was volunteering at the front desk, I was dragged there by my sister. Her name's Emily, soft voice, easy smile, the kind of person who could make you forget why you were mad in the first place. We were married for 6 years. Not perfect years, but good ones. Steady. Full of routines that, to me, were comforting: Sunday morning pancakes, watching movies with the lights off, her feet tucked under me on the couch. We even had a favorite booth at the local diner. Emily worked as a dental assistant. She loved the job, said helping people feel less afraid of the dentist made her feel like a superhero in scrubs. I never questioned it. Why would I? About a year ago, she started bringing up the new administrator at the clinic, David. Said he was efficient, that he was whipping the place into shape. I didn't think anything of it. I'm not the jealous type, and she always came home with stories from work, patients, co-workers, weird things stuck in teeth. David just became another character in the rotation. The first crack in the mirror came when I stopped by the clinic unannounced. I chipped a tooth on a rogue pistachio shell and figured I could squeeze in a quick visit between meetings. I walked into the waiting room, and the receptionist looked startled, like I'd shown up with a chainsaw, not a dental emergency. "Oh. Emily isn't here today," she said. I frowned. Really? She told me she had a full schedule. The receptionist glanced nervously down at her keyboard. She might be, at lunch? The next day, I asked Emily about it. She said she'd stepped out for a bit longer than expected, that maybe the front desk hadn't seen her return. She smiled and kissed my cheek. "You're sweet to check in on me," she said. I told myself to let it go. But I didn't. Small things started piling up. She changed her phone's passcode. She took calls in the bathroom. She suddenly cared a lot about what she wore to work: skirts instead of scrubs, perfume where there used to be just the faint scent of mouthwash and latex gloves. Then came the night of our anniversary. She was distant during dinner. Not angry, not cold, just absent, like she'd left a part of herself somewhere else and couldn't find her way back. We came home, and I tried to be intimate, to reignite that spark we used to have. She let me kiss her, but she didn't kiss me back, not really. Later that night, when she fell asleep, I checked her phone. I'd never done that before. It felt like touching something sacred with dirty hands. The message was there. "Wish you were here. That dress drove me crazy today. You always know how to make the mornings worth it." It was from David. I didn't confront her. Not that night. I just sat in the living room in the dark, trying to piece together what version of my life I was living in. Was this a fling? A phase? Or had I already lost her? I thought about the way she started to come home late more often, always with a new excuse. I thought about the way her phone never left her side, even in the shower. And I thought about David, the administrator she'd once described as just really organized. I needed proof. So I made a plan. The next week was all quiet steps and tight knots in my chest. I didn't tell anyone. Not my brother, not my best friend, not even my coworker Jenny, who has the kind of radar for this stuff that could detect lies in a power outage. I just watched. I noted every late night, every mysterious phone call, every too bright smile after a long day at the clinic. By Thursday, I'd installed a cheap but effective GPS tracker in Emily's car. It felt dirty. I kept telling myself it wasn't about revenge or control, it was about knowing. I needed to know the shape of the truth before I could decide what to do with it. That Friday, her location pinged near a small inn on the edge of town. Not a hotel we'd ever used, not the kind of place you'd go for a business lunch. My stomach turned as I stared at the blinking dot on the screen. I waited until the next day to confront her. We were in the kitchen. She was slicing strawberries for her yogurt, humming quietly. She looked so normal. Like the woman I used to know. I slid the phone across the counter, open to the GPS history. She glanced at it, then up at me. "What is this?" "You tell me." Her mouth twitched. I saw it the moment the mask slipped. Then came the tears, as I knew they would. It wasn't supposed to be anything, she said, voice barely above a whisper. It just happened. He was kind, and I felt wanted? I asked. She nodded. You're my wife, Emily. You were already wanted. I know, she whispered, and in that moment, I wasn't sure which of us looked more broken. She confessed to everything. It had been going on for about 4 months. Started as flirtation, escalated during after-hours paperwork and admin meetings. She tried to end it, she said, but every time he texted her, it felt like someone reminding her she still existed. I asked her the question I hadn't let myself say out loud, do you love him? Her silence told me everything. I packed a bag that night and went to stay at my friend's place. I didn't shout. I didn't demand. I was too tired for fury. Over the next week, we talked. Not as husband and wife, but as people trying to untangle a decade of history. She didn't beg me to stay, but she didn't ask me to go either. That might have been the worst part, how resigned she already was to the idea of us falling apart. The divorce was civil, if quiet. No kids, no messy finances, just 2 people signing away a life they built and broke. She moved in with a friend, and I stayed in our old apartment until the lease ended. It's been 9 months. Some days, I wake up and I can almost smell her perfume on the pillow. Other days, I can't even remember the sound of her laugh. I've started therapy. I've gone on a few dates, none serious. I still check her social media sometimes, even though I know I shouldn't. Last I heard, she's still working at the clinic. David's name comes up less and less. I don't hate her. I think that's the hardest part for people to understand. I don't want her back, but I don't want her ruined either. I just want to forget what it felt like to watch someone I love disappear while still standing right in front of me. I don't know if I'll ever feel that same kind of connection again. But I'm learning that healing doesn't mean going back to who you were, it means becoming someone new with a few more scars and a lot more clarity. And that's where I am now. Trying. Walking. Breathing. One step forward at a time.